To demonstrate how to nest routes, we're going to take a look at a simple app that also uses the router. Now we have a ton of files in this start folder for you that you can use to get started. So I'm first going to make sure I npm install all of the dependencies for this project in the folder. Great. So what we're trying to build is this. We're going to build this website for a very important society, the Rock Appreciation Society, and we're going to create different routes for our about and for our members. So the place I want to get started with this is to take you on a quick tour of some of the files that are already here, and then we're going to adjust them. So in the root of the folder, you should see an index.js file, and this is going to be responsible for rendering all of our routes. Now the routes come from the reactJs file, and right now we're just rendering home and whoops 404, which is why the about and the member links didn't work. Great, so the next thing I want to do here is let's go to our components folder. The components folder has an index.js file, and the index.js currently contains our whoops 404. The folder also contains a UI folder that has our home page that we just saw. It has an about page, and it has a member list page. So let's go ahead and open up our index.js file. And in the index.js file, we're going to create a page template. So the page template that we'll create is going to be called left. And this just is in reference to a left navigation that will be part of this page. So we will add a div here, and the div should have a class name of page. Now this refers to an existing class in the CSS, so you don't need to worry about that. We're also going to include our main menu component, and we're going to give this a class name of main menu. Let's also make sure that we pass in a very important variable here called children to this element. So the reason that we're passing in children is that the left component, when rendered, will render any children dynamically. So I'll show you in a second how we nest those routes to display those child routes. But for now, we should just know that the children will appear right next to the main menu. Cool, so I want to create one more of these. And the other one is going to be right, which is in reference to a right side navigation. And I'm going to cut children, and I'm going to paste it above main menu. So in this case, the main menu should be on the right-hand side, and whatever the child element should be on the left-hand side. The final thing I need to do here is make sure that we import main menu from the appropriate folder. So we'll look in UI for main menu. Excellent. I want to reopen my routes file now, and we're going to handle that children stuff. So the first thing that we'll do is we'll add another route, and this route should have a path of /, and it should have a component here for right. So we're going to render our right component. Now this route is going to have a couple of child routes here. So we'll use route path equals about, and we'll render our about component. And then we're going to render our members component. So this is actually called member list. And this is the other child that will appear on this particular route. We also need to import a few more things. So we're going to import left and right from our index.js file. And let's also import our about and our member list components. So we'll say import about from components UI about, and we'll import member list from the same place with member list, of course. Okay, great. So let's start our site using the terminal. So I'll clear that out and run npm start. And this is going to also run on localhost 3000, so no big change there. But when we reload it, all right, it looks like our main menu component is not defined. So let's fix that. We will go to our index file, and it looks like I made a little typo there. So we're going to say main menu instead of that. So I'm sure you saw that, and we're yelling at your screen about that. So cool, we have our menu appearing on the right-hand side. And then if I click on members, we should see both of these different pages. Now, this is what the template is all about. We're going to, if we switch to the left template, which we can do by changing the route on line 11, it will continue to hold this content and display child data. Pretty cool. Awesome, so we've nested some routes. We're going to return to this project a little bit later when we load member data from an API.